Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Tina. No, seriously. I was extremely excited when Pastor David asked for stewardship testimonies. Anytime I can share what God is doing through my life, I'm really excited too. My stewardship testimony is a personal one. I have been married for over 33 years just this month, and the latter part of those years, we've been able to live debt-free. I believe my stewardship testimony began when I asked God one day at a precept upon precept Bible study, God, what do you want to do with my life? And that can be a scary question if you don't totally trust God. But that's when my pro-life journey began. He led me to Hope Resource, the pregnancy center in Jackson County. At that time, I didn't know what a pregnancy center was. But I had had an abortion right after high school, and I wasn't until my relationship with Christ started to grow that I knew I needed healing and forgiveness. That's where the pregnancy center came in. They offered a Bible study called Forgiven and Set Free. I did the Bible study. I volunteered there, became the client service coordinator, and I even led the Bible study. I told a friend on the phone late one night that we needed a pregnancy center in Franklin County because that's where I was when I needed one. I was faithful to follow the path God had started me on. God was faithful to meet every need, open every door, and direct my every step forward. Toccoa Life had been starting pregnancy centers across Northeast Georgia for 18 years. They had wished they had had one in Franklin County, and at that time it had been 18 years since I had had my abortion. I got in touch with them, and I told them I would like to start one in Franklin County. I truly believe God had me learn from two successful pregnancy centers on how to start one. I would like to share some pictures with you all. The first one is the ads that we put in the paper of where we wanted to start a pregnancy center. And I actually got a call from a lady who was with a Cornerstone Ministries. It was a food pantry and clothes closet. And they were building a building, and they offered to let us use a portion of their building. So that would be our first office. The next one is the blueprints drawn on a manila envelope from a men's group that would be building the walls in that building for our first office. And we did community awareness, and I spoke at churches, and there's some pictures there. This picture is a picture of the outside of the building, and we were in 600 square feet. We had no windows, and we shared a bathroom with that other ministry. We had a couple of small rooms that held our clothes and our baby items. And my motto was little is much when God is in it. I even had that printed on our checks. We were paying $200 a month rent here and half the power bill. For 8 years, it was a blessing. In 2010, we spotted this 2-story brick building just over the road on 1 acre of land for sale. Long story short, by faith, we moved in this building, paying $500 a month rent, and owned it debt-free by 2014. That's 4 years. It was amazing watching God provide. I always love giving tours of the center, and here's a family that you may recognize. The kids wanted to donate their money to the ministry. That's Abby and Noah and Silas. These are pictures of the current mommy mall. We have a diaper closet, preemie corner, and several rooms with baby clothes and our larger items. We had a mortgage burning and a ribbon cutting once we paid the building off in full. This is a sign outside the office by the road, and this sign here is across from the exit at the high school. I'd always said, had I seen a sign that said pregnant, need help, I may not have chose abortion, but I didn't see a sign, and but I did have that abortion, and I would not go back and change it for nothing, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today had I not had that abortion. I share this one pic because I believe God expanded my territory, and I was able to travel to the United Nations and share my testimony on how abortion hurts women, and that's a whole nother testimony in itself. These are pictures of 25 plus years of the babies that are on this earth simply because I trusted God and He trusted me to be a good steward over this ministry. I believe because I was faithful with little, God trusted me with much. one of the slides of the babies, you'll see one baby in several different poses. I held him while his mama went downstairs to shop in the mommy mall, and he changed his expression every few seconds. So I grabbed my phone and took those pictures. This little one is probably a young adult now. You see, I have always called Franklin Life my baby that God has placed me over to raise. When it turned 18, he placed another vision in my heart. Over 25 years leading Franklin Life, we would occasionally have a girl come in pregnant with nowhere to go or live. I would have to call out of county or out of state to find her somewhere. So when I inherited land, when my dad died, I said we could build a place. I have 10 acres designated for Righteous Rock Refuge, a home for women facing homelessness. And there's a picture of the land. As I continued to trust God with the visions he was giving me, I expected him to provide. I witnessed blessing after blessings. Some may call it God winks. An architect drew the 3,700 square foot plans. It's the building shaped like a cross. He didn't even charge a dime. He just said happy to help. A local church donated $100,000 to start the building. 2 companies from that same church did free grading. And there's a picture of a rainbow over the graded property, and a picture from the sky showing the cross formed out in the land. I received donations and discounts for gravel for the driveway, and the contractor said he would build for 5%, plus his cost of the building supplies. The day of the ribbon cutting for the refuge, there was a 90+% chance of rain. Well, Pastor David and Pastor Howell were there, and they can vouch God held the rain away, and it was a beautiful day. Here's some more pictures of the progress, and here's one of where the scriptures on the building post. I had ran into a friend one night at Bar H, and I was coming out as she was going in. I said, Christina, I have some land in Franklin County and I want to do something good with it. And she said, well, you know, they need a place for girls coming out of trafficking. Immediately, the Lord dropped the word refuge in my spirit. And so I went home, I Googled, and I searched the scripture. And this is where he led me to Deuteronomy 32:4. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are justice, a God of truth and without injustice, righteous and upright is he. Righteous Rock Refuge. It will be a refuge built on the rock, Jesus Christ, and it will be righteous. The third, and I hope for my sanity, is the last nonprofit that I feel God has led me to start, Double Blessings Thrift Boutique. I know many ministries operate from sales and profits from thrift stores, so I've seen this as a blessing to the other 2 ministries. The phrase double blessings has always been a part, very important for me for a long time. When we did our first life chain in Carnesville, that's where you hold signs and pray for an hour to end abortion. I looked down as we closed in prayer, and I seen a diamond penny and picked that up. And our sweet little volunteer, Miss Mary, said, you know that's double blessings. Well, I started finding diamond pennies everywhere together. I filled up several trinket boxes. So when I prayed about opening a thrift store to support Franklin Life, the refuge, double blessings made sense. Folks that donate would be double blessings, and folks that shopped would be double blessing, and the profits would be blessing 2 ministries. Continuing to be a good steward of what God led me to start, our goal is to save the rent we are currently paying and plan to open the store behind Franklin Life in the building that we just purchased. And my motto is still, little is much when God is in it. When doing nonprofit work, you aren't in it for the big paychecks, if you're a honest American. I decided a long time ago to start tithing from what I made, no matter how small, and I have witnessed becoming debt-free in my personal life and founding and managing 3 debt-free nonprofit ministries, never lacking while even being able to be a blessing to others at times. These are God's ministries, and I count it all joy that he trusts me to be a good steward over them.